So it is pretty misty up here on the South Downs today, and I'm starting today to think about my Brighton Marathon training plan for this year. So it's exciting stuff. It'll be my first official marathon. I've done one solo marathon a few months ago, but now I'm going to be thinking about training for my first official one. So this week I've kept it pretty light. I've only done one other run. I'm doing today's run up to the South Downs today to do a trail running workshop with Salomon, something a bit different, so that'll be nice. And just trying to build it up ever so slowly. What is that? Is that like an emu? Or a... I don't know, what kind of bird is that? So my aim for the Brighton Marathon is actually, in terms of time, going to be the same aim as I went for the solo marathon. So 3 hours 30. If I can get a PB, that'd be great. So 3 hours 28 something. But I know that this will be more tricky because of the hills, because I won't be able to, like I did for the solo marathon, just choose a day where there's hardly any wind. So that will be my aim. So do subscribe and follow along if you're interested in following my 12-week training plan, the highs, the lows, the challenges. I'll be putting all of those forward. And I know that there will certainly be highs, but certainly be lows as well. All the training I've done so far, there has been low periods and challenges. So I hope to communicate them in these upcoming vlogs, which I'm going to do once a week. So do subscribe if you are interested in hearing about those. So I'll finish off this run and the training workshop I'm just heading to now, and then I'll update you a little bit more on my ideas, my strategy behind the training plan once I get back. So I'll speak to you in a bit. As you can see, Brighton Marathon 2021 training plan, and my plan is to try and stick to this a bit more, because my training plan before was pretty fluid and there weren't so many distinguished runs in it as well. What I mean by that is I didn't necessarily have, you know, hills and then intervals or easy run or long. It was all kind of much of a muchness, and I was running at a similar kind of pace, sometimes doing stuff a little bit faster, maybe incorporating hills here and there, but it certainly wasn't very systematic, and it probably wasn't that consistent either. So my plan for this time, I won't go through the plan in full because it's probably not the most exciting thing to listen to, but it's just to have, you know, consistent days where I'm doing hills and building those up as I go along. Having my easy runs in there, some intervals, and then a couple of longer runs in there, some at marathon pace, but not all of them like that. So that's really the overall plan, to try and keep it much more structured, to have really consistent running in there, and trying to build up the miles as well. I mean, I don't think I'm going to be running a massive amount of miles on a weekly basis. My most will probably be 40, something like that. I think my maximum before was about 35. That seemed to work okay, but I do want to try and incorporate in other things. So that was one thing I was pleased about before with my previous plan, as fluid and flexible as it was, maybe too flexible. I did have lots of cross training in there, so I'm going to be trying to keep that up, doing strength exercises for at least one session a week, swimming in the sea one session a week, and then having some physio exercises in there as well, which are actually exercises that I've been doing for about 1.5 years now, from when I got injured with my ankle playing football. I got some exercise from the physio, and I've just found that they've really helped with strengthening my legs in general, my ankles, feet, and everything. So I'm going to be sticking with those as I go through the marathon training plan as well. So that's the idea, really, just to mix it up more, to try and make sure I've got consistent miles in there, but also no kind of wasted miles, because I think I was probably guilty of that in my previous training for my solo marathon. So trying to make sure I've got set, clear, distinct runs that I'm doing. Is it hills? Is it intervals? Is it my easy runs? Am I doing a run at marathon pace here as well, or, you know, a race style run? So those are really the key things. Aside from that, I'm also going to try and run more on grass so that I'm not putting too much pressure on my joints. And we're quite lucky around here in Brighton because we have Hove Lawns, which is some lawns that you can just run up and down. I think it's about 0.7 of a mile long maybe. So flat grass along the front, and I'll probably be using that for a good bit of my training. But also the other thing I'm going to have to get used to is running in the heat as well. And I've mentioned in my other videos that I'm not a massive fan of running in the heat and training in the heat, but it's something I'm going to need to get used to, because with the Brighton Marathon in September, I'm going to be needing to train mainly in July and August. So definitely need to get used to the heat as much as possible. So the only other thing that I wanted to say was just really about the videos that I'm going to do for my Brighton Marathon training. My plan is to do some like vlog style videos to post up how my training's going. So do a number of videos. So this will be the first one. And then I'll just talk through in those how my training's been going, what else I've been doing as well, if I've been mixing it up, sticking to my cross training, and just really any insights or any tips or tricks that I've got to share along the way. So do subscribe if you haven't already, and that means that you'll be able to follow the videos that I'm posting up for my Brighton Marathon training log. And let me know in the comments if you're running Brighton Marathon this year, or if you've got another marathon you're training for, anything you want to share, any tips, ideas, chuck them in the comments, and thanks for tuning in.